Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Binford Chronicles, another episode. And today we're going to be accompanied with the Thin Blue Lie Audits as we examine two body camera videos involving former Melbourne Police Officer Luke. That's right. Oh my goodness. I was watching that video and I found it so disturbing. So we have to talk about this today. And we'll be doing that with Lance. And it's been a really tough week. I had a tough day today at work, and I hope you guys had a good day. And Friday's coming along, TGI Fridays tomorrow. The elections just got over. It was amazing. Jennifer Pippin won her seat, so now we're going to have three women on the county commission. I don't think that's ever happened before. So it's been an exciting week. It's been a tough week. I hope you guys are ready for Friday tomorrow. So anyway, we're going to examine the body camera footage, the complaint history. Lance is going to fill us all in on the circumstances surrounding what happened to Luke afterwards, after these videos got out, and we'll dive into it all with Lance tonight. So stick around. I'm going to have a little commercial, and then we'll be back.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At cspoa.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit cspoa.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's cspoa.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back, guys. We've got Lance Fisher with the CSPOA. Come on up, Lance.
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great. So glad to have you back.
I appreciate it. It's good to be back again.
Yeah, well, I was watching those videos that you sent me and you posted out there in Facebook. Wow, that was just, I had such a hard time getting through that video. It's a tough one, because you don't think of your blue as being aggressive. They're always trying to de-escalate situations, and we didn't see that here. And we love our blue. We love our police officers. We love our sheriff officers. They're always putting their lives on the line for us every day. And there's those few out there that are just making everybody look bad.
No, and I agree, and we'll talk about it. But in this case, I mean, this is on the chief and the command staff at Melbourne. We'll talk about his discipline and how long his discipline files took. I mean, he had 714 pages in his discipline files, and I found out afterwards that there were some issues that should have been glaring in the recruitment process. And so when I talk about failed leadership and failed accountability, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to start out the next video with Miss Elkins. Am I pronouncing that right? Miss Elkins?
Yep, Rhonda Elkins.
Yeah, let's give that a shot, and everybody pay close attention because this just had me floored.
This is Rhonda Elkins' story. Watch the body camera footage where we pick up with Miss Elkins laying on the ground and Officer Luke engaging in a verbal altercation with the two individuals standing in their own front yard.
Don't get in my face. I'm here. She got in my face.
Why you do that?
She got in my face.
Why you do that?
She gotta go. She's gonna go to jail for a felony. She touched me. I
Are
am.
you taping me?
I am.
Hey,
You shouldn't have touched me.
hey, I need your badge number and all
Hold
that.
on, let me get another one.
It's our hold on phone call. We got
It is. It's right there. It's on camera. She scratched me. Look at me. I have a scratch
no.
right here.
When you walked off, you said a smart.
She came straight to my face.
When you
And she
walked
get in my
off,
face.
when you
Did
walked
she get in my
off,
face?
when you walked off, you said a smart mark.
And she got in my
You should
face.
have answered the door like that.
She should have.
No, you shouldn't
She
have
should
did
have.
that.
Yes, I should have. She
That's
shouldn't have.
okay.
She shouldn't have scratched me. Look at my
Okay.
face.
That's your
She
ass.
had put her
That's
hands
your
on me.
ass.
That's a woman,
I
man.
told you to get
Look
off
at my
my
face.
property.
I'm scratching. Why do
I
I have to
told
come to
you
work
to
and
get
get
off my
scratched?
property.
Look at that. Why do I have to come
I
to work
told
and
you
get
to
scratched
get
on
off
my
my
face?
fucking property.
I'm asking you a
You
question.
shouldn't have
I
did that to
told
my
you to
wife.
get
I'm
off my
asking you a
property.
question.
You shouldn't have
And
did
you
that.
pushed me down.
You got in my
Hey,
I
face.
got it
hey.
on video.
You got in my face. You
You're a
assaulted me.
police officer,
You
you
assaulted me.
dickhead.
You're
You
wrong,
assaulted
man.
me.
Wow. And the husband was so calm.
We
Why
will.
you doing that, man?
She wants to continue it,
See,
so
we
she
will.
go to jail.
We
We will.
We
Look
will. I
how
want to
calm he
sergeant
is.
right now.
We're literally
I
dealing with
Yeah, I
want
don't
a
know how he
sergeant
held his
right
You're going to
composure.
have to
now.
wait.
I want a sergeant
You're going to
right
have to
now.
wait.
Man,
You
I was
gone,
getting ready to go
buddy.
to bed and
And
everything.
I understand.
Your
you
qualified
did
immunity is
all
gone.
this.
She should never got in my
Your
face.
qualified
She did
immunity is
assault me.
gone.
But you
There it
said
is.
that smart remark.
She should never assaulted.
And he's just so calm.
He
His
is.
wife is like, she is on fire. He is just saying so calm. And he's like, yo, that was not right,
Yeah, remember Miss Elkins, they were in bed and nothing's going on. They're in bed and Officer Luke goes to their door and he starts hitting their ring camera. And they tell him through the ring camera, go away. There's nothing going on here. We're in bed. And he's adamant. He keeps beating on the door till finally the gentleman answers the door. And then Rhonda comes to the door. And then the next thing you know, and remember, Luke hasn't turned his body camera on. He doesn't activate his body camera until he's already battered Miss Elkins and thrown her to the ground. And then that's the same time he decides to throw it on. And this is a consistent pattern with him. When I pulled his discipline files, this is consistent. And what I believe is that he escalates the situation, he uses force, and then he turns the body camera on to then try to say, "Oh, I'm the victim," and that's what he did in this case.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have where he does not know how to keep his hands to himself in this next video. So let's go there. Count how many times.
She's not going to jail. Look, you see, you're coughing.
Don't do this. Get your hands
See,
on me.
that's why you.
You a fucking lie
You see how you're
tonight.
acting?
You're a fucking lie tonight.
Get out of my face.
Don't put your hands on me. You don't have any business.
Stop putting your hands in my
Don't
face.
put your hands on
You
me.
keep touching me.
Have you lost your mind?
I'm touching you because
Have
you're
you
listening,
lost
not
your
listening.
mind?
Ma'am, you are yelling at me.
Have you lost your
You're
mind?
not listening to me.
You have lost your
You
mind.
see, that's what started.
You,
You're putting your hands in my face.
because I told you to get the fuck off my front
And
porch.
you started
I didn't need no
aggressing me.
police officer.
You started
I
aggressing
can
me.
say I can be aggressive.
You
That's
can't.
what
No, not. We're the police. You see it as a police car.
You ain't here for me.
You go to
You
jail.
pushed me down. Yeah, and I'm gonna get an attorney.
Great.
And everything you think
Stop
you
putting
own.
your hands in my face.
Everything
Stop
you
putting
think
your
you
hands in my
own.
face. Stop putting your hands in my face.
You better
touch
stop.
me, I'm gonna go right back on the ground.
I'll punch you in the eye.
Do it. And
Put
you're
me
going
on
to
the
jail.
ground.
You're going to go.
Put me on the ground,
Get out of my
motherfucker.
face. She shouldn't have touched me. She shouldn't have touched me. Okay, well, you're not gonna do it.
See, now
She didn't have to do it.
Listen, you trying to get us all.
I'm not.
He did not de-escalate that whatsoever.
No, ma'am, he did not. And you're right. He keeps grabbing her. You're touching me. She's not touching him. He says, you can't talk aggressive to me. Yes, you can. Citizens can legally talk aggressive. They can yell. They can scream. Again, I say this. Citizens are not trained to be yanked out of their house and thrown on the ground. And you're right. He does zero de-escalation. And Miss Binford, the scariest part of this is the guy that taught de-escalation training to the new hires. Officer Luke is the one that taught de-escalation training. Do you know how much liability that Chief Gillespie has placed on the Melbourne Police Department when this is your guy teaching de-escalation? And he's a field training officer. He trains other officers. There is so much liability right now. If you're a civil attorney, come to Palm Bay and come to Melbourne and just sue the crap out of them.
You can make a
Because
lot of money.
This is the guy that's teaching de-escalation. It's insane.
Yeah, it is. And he didn't try to calm her down. He just kept using language that fires her up even more, or we're going to arrest you, or, it was just unbelievable, because then we're going to see the other cop comes on property, but he doesn't know what's going on. So he's just backing up his blue guy and going with it. But when you've got an aggressive cop like this, and then he calls other people on board, They don't know what's transpired. They haven't seen his bad behavior, and they're going to come and support him and just follow right through with what he's doing. I think it's in this clip.
Well, that's another thing I talk about, right? When you have a chief that allows rogue officers like this, and Officer Sean Rollins from the Palm Bay Police Department. So yeah, the next officer comes on scene and he has no idea what's going on, but he's now liable for that. So the chief is actually putting other officers at risk for criminal and civil liability when they allow officers like Luke to run rogue throughout their city. And it places the other officers in jeopardy.
Yeah, because they're accomplice to that behavior. They're, they're in support of it. I think it's in this video. Let me see if it's still here.
Touch me. I get that. I came here to check on y'all. I came to check on y'all.
Ain't nobody called you.
I don't know that until I figure it out. I don't know that.
I told you to keep it moving.
You're gonna go nicely, or we're gonna have to put you. It's gonna be rough.
You ain't gonna put me
We
up.
are. We're putting
Here
you in
comes the
handcuffs.
other officer.
We're trying to ask you that. Back up. Back up. Okay, she's going with us. Just let her know. We're trying to be nice about it.
I want to start.
Tell her she's going
Why
in
you running up
handcuffs.
here like you're
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm trying not to.
I want a sergeant.
We don't have one of those. Let's go. That's all we're asking you. Watch
Hey,
out.
don't do that.
We're trying not to.
They went right to the handcuffs. We're going to put her in handcuffs, make her look like a criminal, treat her like a criminal. I was so disturbed by that.
60 years old, I believe, in her own house, never been arrested. And this is how she's treated by the very people that she believes are there to protect her. And that's what's crazy. I mean, you see the other officer running up. He has no idea what's going on. So because of your actions, you've placed other officers in jeopardy. He probably ran emergency there, lights and sirens, and he's running up to the scene, and he has no idea what's going on. And Luke is still running his mouth. It's like he's the problem in this whole scenario.
Yeah, he should have left the property, and he's making excuses like, well, I didn't know, he's talking back, trying to make excuses why he's still on the property. And I agree with her. Look, if nothing happened, her husband was actually out there in his underwear at first, because in the beginning he says, I have to go in and put my pants on or put my clothes on, because they were in their comfortable attire inside the house, and now they're outside the house with this big commotion. If he had just left the property, called in, said, I checked the house, this isn't the house. They didn't even know who it was that they were looking for.
No, and Officer Luke is the one that's committing the crime. He's trespassing. He's not there for a lawful reason. Once you go to the house, you listen to the door, you don't hear a disturbance, you try to make contact, and if they say nothing there, then you walk away. And he's leaving the property. The sergeant said in the disciplinary report, the only reason he stayed was to argue with her, that he had no lawful reason to be there. And so he's committing the crime. And then he batters Miss Elkins on her front yard. And that's my biggest problem. Just leave. But Luke couldn't do it. His ego was there. And quite honestly, he's a criminal. He's a criminal.
He's a danger to society. But
Yeah.
the other thing that I noticed is that she kept asking for the sergeant, and finally the sergeant comes on board. But then I was astonished on the sergeant's behavior. So let's go to that video.
It's crazy.
Videotape.
It'll start up in a second.
Oh, man.
So this is her getting
Touch
arrested.
me. I got a scratch.
Oh, yo.
Let's go. Here, walk to my car.
No,
Ain't nobody call you, man.
I'll talk to you in a second if you want to. I don't know that. I tried to explain that to you.
I want to talk to him.
You'll talk to her. We about to search you. We'll have Ishikawa search you. Hey, stand tight. Stand tight with her.
You don't have to touch.
So y'all sent me here to.
Oh, this is when he shut his cam off. I'm like, why did he shut his cam off? Or not his cam, he made it quiet while he's talking to the sergeant. Why would he do that?
He muted it because he doesn't want anybody to hear his lies. That's it. Because their policy does not allow this. It says for tactical reasons only. And this can be redacted. If he says something that's so tactical or so confidential, they can redact that. It's so he can just literally spill his lies. And he's been disciplined for this before. He's been disciplined for muting, and he's been disciplined for not turning his camera on before.
And then he turns it back on. I thought that was the most odd thing. I'm like, wait a minute, why can't we hear the conversation?
So she's able to touch
So
me?
here
I was
he
born
turned
in
it back
Minnesota.
on.
You can't do that around here.
You touched me
Okay.
first.
You can't do
We'll
that.
talk to you
You
after.
get the ring. I don't have
It's on our
to
camera. It's on body
It's
cam.
on my ring
Yeah, it's
too.
okay, even better.
Hey, somebody
And,
gonna be looking for you, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. You dead wrong.
So she's allowed to put her hands in my
man, You
face?
started that shit.
I'm not with your
You
hands.
can't talk to
You
me
can
like
say what
that.
you
Get
want.
off my property.
But you start
I
walking
can
towards
say
me with
that.
your fist balled up. That's a
See, and her husband's telling the truth. He's saying, you started that poop, right? He's
Yeah.
like, you started that, and it should have never happened. He should have kept his hands down to himself. She was just being expressive. She was not a violent woman. She was just, like an Italian woman. She's hot-headed, and she's just going to say what's on her mind, and she got no patience, and she's not putting up with it.
And she got thrown on the ground in her front yard. She's pissed. She's
Yeah.
mad. She should be.
walking
can
towards
say
me with
that.
your fist balled up. That's
Oh
assault.
man, come
Like
on,
this,
dude.
point your fingers
Come
in my
on,
face.
dude.
I would have never touched you.
Ma'am.
She's on the phone.
Okay. I need your
It'll be on your
name,
arrest report.
name and badge.
It'll be on her arrest report.
Fighting a woman. You stupid ass motherfucker.
Espinoza.
What's your badge number?
5309.
Yeah, you come running
Luke
up there like
4890.
you Batman, man.
So he didn't even give his badge number to her until his fellow officer showed how to behave.
He's a jerk. He couldn't just say, Luke, whatever his badge number was, it'll be on the arrest report. And we see that time and time again from officers with ego. And right, Espinoza just gives it away, and then Luke's like, "Oh, I've been disciplined for that before too, so maybe I should just save myself one charge today and go with this and just give it away."
I'm wondering how this guy even passed FTO.
Ma'am, I don't know. Are we going to get into his discipline? Because if not, I'll do a spoiler alert.
Yeah, we do get into his discipline. I have his discipline. You want to bring up the papers?
No, because it's just crazy this guy was ever even a cop after the first year because he committed crimes in his first year.
Oh, he has absolutely no control. But I think what the example was his sergeant, the sergeant that came up, because she did not have any control.
Handle what you need to with your perimeter if you spot anything.
So she's able to
I
touch
think
me?
she
I
talked
was
to him
born in
now.
Melbourne. You can't do that around here.
You touched me
Okay.
first.
You can't do
We'll
that.
talk to you
You
after.
guys.
The ring. I don't have
It's on our
to
camera. It's on body
It's
cam.
on my ring
Yeah,
too.
it's okay, even better.
Hey, somebody
yeah.
gonna be looking for you, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. You dead wrong.
So she's allowed to put her hands in my
man, You
face?
started that shit.
I'm not with your hands.
Well, am I playing the same one over?
But you start walking
can
towards
say
me with
that.
your fist balled up. That's a
Right
Over there.
Let me
There
Oh,
we go.
there she is.
That was it.
Here we go. Hold on.
looking for
He comes up. Okay, here it is. It's after this badge.
Good evening.
What's your first name?
My name. Look, can you just come with me?
A question.
Mrs. Elkins is my name. Can you come with me and look at my ring camera and see what actually went down right now? So that I have claustrophobia. And I don't mind going because he said I got to go. But the point is, I can't get in the back of a police car. It's too close. And I'm going to pass out and vomit and all of that. So we were in there minding our own business. He run the doorbell. I answered through the ring. I told him we didn't call. He said, come to the door. Before I got to the door, my husband was at the door. I said, Kevin, don't open the door. I just told him that we didn't need him. So I think he got kind of salty.
I think she's telling the
we didn't
truth.
need him. And told Kevin to close
100%.
the door. So then I said, just go on. We don't need you. Get off our property. And so when he turned his back, he had something smug and smart.
Why is her phone ringing so loudly like that? Is there like a policy that says put it on vibrate or something? Because that totally it interfered with that interview.
Well, she doesn't even look like she cares. I think her first thing she said, I asked you a question. She's just standing there nodding her head. You'll see, I think if you go a little further, she's the reason that they act like this. She's the reason. She has no control over the scene, no control over her officers. Luke will talk over her, continue to escalate while his sergeant's on scene.
Yeah, let's see where it goes.
That's none of your business. That's none of your business. Listen.
So this is when her kids show up.
Ma'am,
That dude, that man,
ma'am,
right there.
let me finish.
And it bothered me that she turned around. She's got two other officers there that should be able to handle that, you would think, so she could focus on the Mrs. Elkins, because Mrs. Elkins was actually very calm there, and it sounded like she was hopeful somebody was going to listen to her and help her.
It's amazing when she's being treated like a human being, how calm she is. And you're right, this is a tactical error on the officers. The sergeant should have Miss Elkins and her in the completely opposite position. The sergeant should be behind her, Miss Elkins, and then the gentleman. That way she's looking at Miss Elkins and she can see the two other people over Miss Elkins' shoulder, so she can keep an eye on all three of them. And then you're right, the other officers should also be in between her and the other people. So this is a tactical error that could have easily caused an officer safety issue, but that's just training. And this sergeant, I mean, when you have a supervisor that doesn't understand the simple tactics in law enforcement, that's a problem.
Yeah, and I noticed the language too. None of the language is to calm people down. It's very confrontational, like kind of like you're in a playground arguing. They don't
That's all it is.
control that. And it's I totally get the kids being upset and they don't have the discipline to be calm. They see their mom handcuffed because they're like, my mom's never been in trouble. What the hell's going on here? There's a bunch of white cops here, and all of that plays into it as well. And they're not calming it down. Let's see what else happens here, because I think this shows where she puts her hands on one of the children.
Yeah.
Which I was like, are you kidding me?
Camera. Everything's on camera.
No, she's not even interviewing Miss Elkins.
I'm on my property. You know you got
There you go. You circled it right there.
Yeah, because that's where Officer Luke learned this behavior from. She's not doing anything. She's standing on a public sidewalk, and that officer encroaches her. The sergeant walks up to her and pushes her. That's exactly what Luke did to Miss Elkins. That's exactly what Luke does in the next video. So this is a learned behavior from them. And you know what? If the scene is that chaotic, put Miss Elkins in a car and leave. It's as simple as that. But no, They stop everything, and then they start a second argument with everybody else on scene. These officers have zero de-escalation. They have zero training. The command should be literally concerned that this sergeant completely lost control.
She did. It totally escalated to where they even grab the daughter and pull her aside as well. And I couldn't tell. I was looking at it. I was like, did they just handcuff her daughter too? Because it just escalated and continued to escalate. And here's a woman, like you said, it's never been arrested. She shouldn't even be in handcuffs. She just needs somebody to talk to her like she's a human being and show her some respect. Just like when the sergeant first came on scene, she was calm, she was talking, but the sergeant didn't give her attention. She didn't control it. And it seems like the sergeant was distracted by everything else going on and not able to focus on her, and her officer able to control what's happening in the background.
Yeah, so just complete chaos. And she was handcuffed and thrown into a car.
Yep. Let's see the chaos. Show this to our viewers, because I found it disturbing.
And they're calling for more officers now. That's what this has created. More officer safety issues.
When there's real crime going on out there.
Yeah.
I got it. You want to step up? Yeah, I just picked it up. Hey, sir, if you get them inside. You push because you got a bad one. Bitch, I'll whoop your ass when you get hands. You wasn't off. Don't put your hands on me. I didn't touch you. So don't put
and she's right. She put her hands on her.
She did.
Put her hand, yeah.
And I don't know if you saw it, but the sergeant is telling Miss Elkins, if you can get them just to stand back. So now you want Miss Elkins to now control this scene. You're a sergeant, and you're now asking for the very lady that you threw down on the ground, that Luke has battered, And now you
And
want
she's
her?
handcuffed right now.
And now you want her. Hey, if you could just get them to back up, we could continue on our conversation. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I just this video was like
I know my rights. I don't have to
it just got so out of control.
You give respect, you get it. You didn't give me any respect.
Exactly.
You didn't give me any respect.
Well, you have people yelling everywhere. Everybody is yelling at everybody. Luke
So
and Miss
chaotic.
Elkins are going at it. The sergeant's going at it. I think Espinosa is probably like, what in the world is going on? And he's probably like, can I just get a lunch break? Because this is crazy. He's the only guy that's trying to do anything. And I think he's just like, man, I don't know what to do anymore.
And the sergeant looks like she's just like standing there.
Look at her.
And we will have a conversation. I would like to.
I will go over everything once everybody has calmed down. I can't talk to anybody when everybody's going to be out here screaming.
I can say whatever the fuck I want to say.
We'll look for everything, okay? And I don't have a problem doing that.
I don't know. Do you think if the sergeant said, I apologize or anything to that effect, she could bring them in and say, hey, we got off to the wrong foot. Let's try this again. I mean, I don't hear her trying to control that.
No, her solution, we're just going to wait this out. We're just going to let everybody scream. It's almost like a child throwing a tantrum. Oh, we'll just let everybody scream and yell while you have neighbors coming out. I don't know if you saw, there's a neighbor that comes outside. So I don't know what you're waiting on, a bigger crowd. But really, in reality, if it's like this, just put her in the car and leave. You can talk to her at the station. And you're going to keep all your officers safe. You're going to get them back on the road. You're not asking more officers to drive emergency lights and sirens to you and to cause more chaos. Just put her in the car and leave. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, there's already too many officers there. If they had controlled that right, all those officers could be taking care of real business,
Yes.
So there is another video. This is where we hear the sergeant finally talking with her. So I found this very interesting as well. I was kind of disappointed. I was like, I was answering before Miss Elkins answered.
This is crazy. Sure. This is crazy.
You need to go in the house.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm worried
I
about
think
my
this is
life.
when the other
Why you
officer
want to tell me to go
pulls
to the
up.
house before you go to jail?
No idea.
Why can I be in my yard checking on my mom? That makes no sense.
That's the whole idea.
That makes no sense.
Espinosa, put her in the car
Y'all
first and
just
check
trying
right
to
out.
do it, so. See?
Yes, they came here. They said they got a call and grabbed on my house phone.
I think that's when another officer starts to pull up, right?
Yeah, it's another sergeant. And finally,
And a
there's
woman
somebody on
screaming
scene that'll
at me,
handle this.
Get off the porch. That's what all of it was. We don't know if the person running was related to the 911 call, which is why he was trying to make contact. It's odd that you say you guys didn't call. I don't know why it's brought into your house.
See, this is what I found really strange is I'm listening to her talk to Mrs. Elkins and she says, it's odd. I'm like, what's odd about that? The 911 should know where that number is coming from.
Yeah, and it was a ping, so it doesn't go to a house, it goes to an area. And so that's why when you go to these types of calls, and one, she's going to talk about how dangerous this is. If you hear, what if there's an armed person in your house? But yet you sent Officer Luke there by himself. She's going to try to trump this up to be some major catastrophic event, right? He was there to be a superhero. But you sent Officer Luke there by himself, so don't trump it up now. But yeah, it's a ping. You go to the house, you listen for a disturbance. If you don't hear one, knock. If you get a response, then leave. You've done your job. That's what you're designed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's listen to this.
It's your house, but that's where the call was. That's why Officer Luke came to your house.
I said,
They don't know what they're doing.
no, he didn't call.
He's right.
And I said,
He's 100%
I
correct.
said again, well, come to the door. And I said, I don't have to come to the door because I told you. By that time, my husband, and I got to the door, I said, open the door, I was close to the car. So, he was still questioning Kevin. And I said, close the door, we didn't call. I think you didn't call. I said, now get off our property.
I wish they would take her handcuffs off. I really do.
Yeah, me too. But they arrested her for battery of a law enforcement
Get
officer.
out my
She's still
face.
pending the
Don't
charges.
point at me. Don't point at me. And I said, you don't get to talk to me like that. Okay? Then he said, fuck you or something of that nature. And I said, oh, how dare you? And he came back at me. I went at him. Okay? Then he pushed me to the ground, threw me to the ground. My husband said,
That's when he had his body cam off.
Stop. She's aggressive. He kept, get the fuck out of my face. Don't come in my face. Don't punch your thing in my face. He's a police officer. He's not a feelings officer. He insisted that
He's not a feelings
on
officer.
private property after being requested to get off.
He was allowed to be there because of the 911
once
call.
I told him we didn't need him, once we were at the front door, and I said,
the reality of
come
that
on,
is,
lady.
he doesn't know who else is in your house.
He doesn't have to know.
He does.
I'm looking at him.
Is that right? He doesn't have to know who else is in her house because there's no search warrant or anything like that, right?
No, the Constitution, your most sacred place is your home. He doesn't have to know anything about the house. Nothing at all.
So even though there's a ping there and he checks the door and it looks fine, he was definitely violating her rights on her property.
Yeah, once she tells him to leave, he has to leave. He has no lawful business to be there. And right, but the difference is if he goes to the door and he hears a disturbance and there's exigent circumstances, he calls for another officer and then they go in because of safety to others. Absolutely. But he doesn't have this in this case.
Right. It was quiet. And the husband came to the door and she said, we're fine. She talked through the ring cam. Yeah. Because I was listening to the sergeant and I'm like, what is she saying?
No, if I didn't call,
Can I ask you a question?
You're welcome to ask me a question.
Let me ask you a question, okay? If you were a police officer and somebody was doing something bad in the house and they didn't want the police to know, do you think somebody could answer the door and say, oh, we good, go away?
They could, but if I'm at the door, my husband and I, together, there are two of us, presumably a burglar, whoever else in the house, can't overpower two people. Am I, you know?
Do they have a gun? Are they holding a
Come
gun
on,
to your
lady,
back?
be realistic.
I
please.
am being realistic.
You're not. You're trying to dig him out of this hole. No.
You know, it's funny that she said that because I was thinking it in my head while I'm watching the video and I'm like, you're just trying to make excuses for his behavior.
That's exactly what she's doing. In Harrison, I just saw the comment. Unfortunately, 90% of them are feelings officers. And she says it. You're a law officer. You don't feelings. I don't care if your feelings get hurt at all. But yeah, you're right. She's just here. She is telling them the law. That's what she's telling them. And it's crazy that the sergeant is trying to patronize her. Oh, well, what if there was a guy with a gun in your house? Okay, that's my problem, not yours. I've told you to leave. I've told you I'm an adult in my own house. Heck, you come to my house, I may have 100 guns, and there could be 100 people with guns, but that's not against the law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just is crazy. What a crazy incident video. So listen, I've got the other video, which is the lady on the bicycle in the park. And here he is again, not keeping his hands to himself and violating a person's rights. That bothered me as well.
Yeah, this one's tough.
So I've got a screen share because I didn't have time to cut it.
Which dumpster? You gotta speak up.
She said, I haven't.
Can you hear it?
It's okay.
She said she's gonna bring back some donuts.
Okay. Where's she going? Which dumpster? Maybe over here somewhere?
She's going back here.
Okay, you don't got no ID on you? No, what you? Okay, I got you. Golf 1, 13P, Blackbell, Drance, yeah, Park.
Officer,
I had a question for you. When someone is like that in the park and an officer asks for your name, do you have to give them your name?
if he's violating a city ordinance, and most city ordinance will have, you can't be in the park after hours or things like that. So if they have a reasonable articulate suspicion that they're committing a crime, then yes. And so in this particular case, he probably would have to give his ID. But again, if he decides to leave, he's not really trespassing at that point, and then he wouldn't have to leave or wouldn't have to produce his ID. So it really depends on the circumstance.
Okay, so now we're coming to the point where she's riding her bike and she's coming in. into the park.
All right. What's your name? What's your name?
I don't want to give it.
Well, you either do that or y'all throw your shit away.
Throw me in jail then. All I did was ride my...
Right there, he started out confrontational. Not like trying to persuade her, look, I'm a nice guy, I'm a cop, I just need to know who you are because it's your past. None of that, no effort. But he gave quick effort to just be confrontational.
Yeah, and again, I say it, he teaches de-escalation, right? And she's riding up, so she's not committing any crime. She's not, I mean, she's riding through a park, she sees an officer. He doesn't know, maybe she's coming to talk to him for help. He has no idea, and that's the very first... If you don't give me your ID, I'm going to throw your stuff away. So now he's going to hold her stuff hostage to force her to ID.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
What are you throwing me in jail for?
Your stuff was here. No, you can't. The city ordinance says you can't leave your stuff here. Neek, put that stuff down. Put that stuff down.
You're a fake ass cop, go away.
And see, this bothered me because Neat was in there picking her stuff up already for her because they're friends apparently. And he's creating the situation that evolved from all of this, because I'm like, why aren't you just being cool and saying, hey, he's getting it for her and let her have her stuff?
Yeah, and two things. He's going to use two excuses, and we'll probably hear them, but I want everybody to pay attention. He's going to say, well, I need your ID to prove that's your stuff. And two, he's later going to say, I can't let you go in there. It's an officer safety issue. But Neek is in there. Officer Luke hasn't looked to see what Neek has taken. Does it belong to him? And secondly, he doesn't care about this gentleman and officer safety. Who knows what's in that property? So he's going to use two excuses for Stephanie, but he doesn't care about Neek. So he's making this stuff up as he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Put the stuff down.
Dad, arrest me. Arrest me. Arrest me.
You're about to go, and your bike's going in the trash
arrest
too.
Me. I ain't giving you my name. Go fuck yourself. Arrest me.
No.
So, of course, right away, she's not going to give him an ounce of respect because he's already been confrontational with her, unfriendly, ready to start a fight with her. And she's like, I'm not giving him my respect.
No, because he doesn't deserve it. He hasn't earned it. The only thing he's earned is the hate.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come over here and grab this stuff.
Touch me. Touch me.
Don't touch me. Don't come over here.
You fucking piece of shit, Dick. Touch me again.
I didn't touch you. No, he's going. Neek, you're trespassing.
You're a fucking piece of shit.
Grab your stuff and go.
I'm getting my shit.
You're not.
Why?
Because I just told you it was left here for a couple of hours.
I just went and got donuts. I was just sitting here.
For how long? Can you stop yelling at me?
Touch me again.
I want you to touch me. You're not going in here. Back up out of here. You're not going in here.
You fucking piece.
Unbelievable. He literally grabbed her and tossed her on the ground.
Yeah, and here's what's eerily similar. He keeps saying, don't touch me. You shouldn't have touched me. And we heard that over and over with Miss Elkins. He creates the situation and then he plays victim. And he even says in one report, oh, I'm a 5'11", 147-pound guy. They were so much bigger than me. So he wants to be this big bully, right? Oh, well, you touch me. Don't touch me. And he says it over and over. But then when it comes push to shove, then he tries to play a victim. He was probably, I'll be honest, and I don't like to be condescending, but I guarantee he was bullied in high school. As a matter of fact, somebody told me that he grew up in the area and nobody respected him, and that's why he became a cop. And so that's why he sits here and he treats women like this. I haven't seen any other videos with gentlemen, but here he is putting his hands on women, throwing them down. This guy is a criminal. And you know what's the problem is? Everybody in the agency knew it. The chief knew it and didn't do anything. They let him roam the streets and terrorize the citizens. And here you have Miss Williams laying on her back and thrown to the ground for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
You're not coming in here. You're not. This stuff has been here for over 7 hours.
You're a fucking lying piece of shit, Luke.
Why are you? Yeah, that's my name.
Bitch.
All right, go.
Call your superior.
They will.
I want your superior.
You're going to meet them over there.
No, I'm going to meet them right here.
No, you're not.
Did you get that? Good. It's all on camera now.
Why are you giving me a hard time?
I want my shit.
I will give you your stuff.
He's like, why are you giving me a hard time? She just wants her stuff. I can't tell in this video if she's, homeless or if she's a poor lady, but she's already got a lot of struggles in life. Let's be a little humble. She's not like out there breaking into doors and she's not shooting up in the park. She took off, left her stuff. I just don't see why the aggression is going on here.
In the reports, it indicates she's homeless, which means That is everything she owns. Everything right there that he's threatened to throw away is everything that she owns. And that's why she's so upset. She's trying to protect everything that she's accumulated, and it's not much. And Officer Luke, man, I mean, this is so, when I saw this video, I was disgusted. I mean, here's a lady just trying to get her stuff back. He's holding it hostage. He's thrown to the ground, and then he lies about everything. He lies about it all.
And it's really meaningful when you say if that's everything she has, if she's homeless, she's got nothing. That's it. That's everything. Let her have what left she has. I mean, that's a tough life. She could be a violent person hurting people, but she doesn't seem to be a person of violence. She just has a mouth on her. But hey, who wouldn't have a mouth on them if they had a tough life? And then you've got a cop that's giving you a hard time.
Exactly.
Call your superior. Call your superior.
He's gonna come.
Call your
she's
superior.
Gonna come. You're not waiting
Call your
over right here.
Call your superior. You put your hands on me twice.
You tried to come towards me.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Call your superior.
I told you not to go in there.
Call your superior.
You're
Why?
away from him.
Is that your dugout?
No, this stuff is going in the trash.
That's my. Then put it in the trash. I'll take it out.
No, you can
Go
do that.
Call your superior.
You can, but I'm
fake
not while you're
cop.
here.
Fake ass cop.
You just said I'm Luke.
You're a fake ass cop.
You see the police car?
You're
hey,
a fake ass cop.
Can you hear me? All right, you're trespassed from the park, okay? All right, don't come back in a year. If you do, you're going to be arrested.
I want to talk to your superior.
All right, Neat, you're good to go. All right, get out of the park. You're trespassing. Get out of the park. You're trespassing.
Arrest me.
I'm about to if you don't leave the park.
She would have left if she had her stuff.
Exactly. Then she's saying that over and over. And then I don't know what authority this guy has. You're trespassed. It's like an Oprah Winfrey show. Everybody gets a trespass. You have to be committing some kind of violation in order to be trespassed from a park. I mean, these are city parks owned by the people. And Luke right here is trying to be God, and he's telling everybody, you can't be here. If you come back in a year, this is crazy. This guy's out of control. But she's going to tell him, she's going to say, you're done. And she's right.
Oh, you're going to be the one in trouble. I fucking promise you that.
Drop one of them. I'll get another unit.
And again, he has to ask another unit because he can't handle himself.
This is what we're going to do.
No, you're going to, no, I want your superior.
This is what we're going to do.
I want your
There
superior.
is another officer that's coming to a scene that he's going to be implicated in.
Mm-hmm. Because he has no idea what he walks into.
That's
no
right.
idea what he
What
walks
you tell me to
into.
do.
Here's what we're going to do.
Put your hands on me, you fuck.
Because you tried. I told you you cannot go in there. I'm allowed to. I told you.
No, you're not.
I told you.
No, you're not.
So here's what we're going to do.
You're not allowed to put your hands on me.
If the officer gets here, I'm taking you straight to jail.
No, you're not.
I am.
And there he goes again, straight to jail.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a de-escalation. None of this was a de-escalation or treating her like a human being. I don't care how poor you are. I don't care how desolate you are or what struggles you are. You are a person and you deserve to be treated like a person.
Officer Luke is literally like a child. That's all he does is he argues over and over. He can't keep his mouth shut. He just sits there and argues with people. He has zero respect, and he's been doing this for 5 years. He has 5 years of discipline. Stephanie Williams should have never had to deal with Officer Luke. Rhonda Elkins should have never had to deal with Officer Luke. Luke should have been arrested years ago. He should be a criminal with no certification.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to terrorize citizens now.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I just told you to leave the park.
Let's go. Come on.
We'll wait till he gets
Come
here.
on.
I'm not going to do it by
That's
myself.
what I fucking thought.
You can't even handcuff him by himself.
Since you want to give me a hard time, you'll wait.
All
You
I
can
want
wait
is my
here.
shit to go.
And what did I tell you?
You fucking shoved me to the ground, you stupid
I
fuck.
pushed you to the ground. I did. You
What?
tried to. I told you not to go in there.
Fake ass fucking
You're
cop.
trespassing.
Fake ass cop.
He's on his way, so keep puffing
What,
away
the
because
fake
you're
ass
going to go
cop
to
or the real
jail.
one?
Another
Put your
officer.
hands on me, you're gonna regret that.
Okay.
I'm fucking promising you.
This is so very important. Miss Williams said.
There you go.
She told him, she said, you're going to regret that. And it was a year later, but he regrets it. I guarantee he regrets it.
Did she say it here?
Mm-hmm.
There to get
You're
it.
not the fucking boss. You're not even a real cop.
Then what
Take
am
me to
I?
jail.
What
Take
am
me to
I?
jail.
If I'm
Take
not
me
a
to
real
jail.
cop,
You're
what
not.
am I? What am I?
You can't put your hands on me.
Why I
You're a
can't?
fucking character in a fucking suit.
I'm a character in a suit.
You're a bad character.
A bad character in a
Yeah.
suit. Okay.
I know who Luke is, dumbass.
Well, who's
The
Luke?
real cop named Luke.
That's
Fuck
me.
ass. No, it's not.
You want to
dumbass.
see? Look.
That's
Can you
how
see
I
my
knew it was
face?
fake as fuck. You
Luke?
don't even look like a cop. You look like a fucking Joker is what you look like.
Okay.
As if they
so
let you in the
upset
fucking...
right now.
Oh, you're done.
Yeah, I
You
am.
fucking shoved me to the ground, you're done.
I did push you to the ground.
You
I
did.
pushed you back. You
You're
fell
right.
to the
You're
ground on
right.
your own.
I pushed you back and you fell to the ground on your own.
I love having you in both scenes.
I look good.
It's your twin.
This is exactly what he told Elkins. That's what he said to Elkins. Oh, I just pushed you. You fell down. He uses the same tactics he used before. Oh, I just pushed you. You fell down. I didn't push you down. That wasn't me.
Yeah, we saw him grab her arm.
Yeah, throw her to the ground.
Find it right here when she walks in. Did I pass it? But he grabbed her arm and threw her down right there.
Yeah,
he grabbed her arm and threw her down right there.
You're not going in here.
You fucking piece of shit.
She didn't bump into him or anything. She squeezed between him and the fence to want to get her stuff. Just give her stuff, man.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
It's just so frustrating to watch this because it could have been over quick. She could have been on her way. You didn't need another officer, and then the other officer comes to the scene. I'm going to try to find that spot where he shows up. And of course, now he's implicated in all of this because he doesn't know what's going on. He's just seeing his fellow officers calling him. I think it's right here. That's him standing right there. He shows up. He doesn't know everything that's transpired,
And leave before you're
trespassing. I want you
trespassing.
to go to jail, and then I'll
Then I believe she's going to jail for trespassing.
No, I'm not.
You are.
Touch me. What the
You're
fuck?
not going anywhere.
What
It's
are you
not that
doing?
serious.
Get off of me.
Get on the ground.
Get off of me. Get off of me. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you out of your mind? What are you doing? Why would you do this? Ah! Stop! Quit! No! Stop! Stop! Stop!
I gave you the opportunity.
Stop!
I told you.
I didn't do anything. Stop! Stop!
You're going to jail.
Stop!
She got
Get
my
off of me! I can't breathe!
Let my handcuff go.
Stop!
Let my handcuff
Stop!
go. Let my handcuff go.
Stop! Help! Stop! Help!
Let my handcuff go. Let it go.
Oh my God! Stop it! Stop it! Are you fucking serious?
This really made me upset because it didn't have to go there. He took it there, and the other officer seems like he's probably a nice officer, but he's just there to support the other officer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, and that's what I talk about when you put other officers in these situations. But I think in the beginning, and somebody pointed out in one of the comments when I did the video, she tried to tell the other officer, he pushed me down and all this. She's thrown to the ground face first. She's laying in an ant pile, and they can't even get her handcuffed. That's their tactics are so poor. I think they've dropped one pair of handcuffs. They're trying to get her cuffed. This whole scene is just brutal. It's just tough to watch.
It really is because and it's hurting her. She's getting bit by the ants.
Stop! What are you doing?
Her cuffs are laying. There's another set of cuffs on the ground.
I tried to give you the opportunity.
I wanted my shit.
And what did I tell you?
I wanted my stuff. Stop.
You got it.
Come on.
That's all she wanted.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Don't try to kick us. You're going to make it worse, okay?
What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?
He warned you.
Why are you warning me about what?
Okay, hey, why don't you listen to me? Look, I'm right here. Stop.
Why are you doing this to me? What did I fucking do?
What did I tell you?
I didn't do anything.
Do you want to stay on the ground or do you want to get up?
I didn't do anything. I want to.
And basically, she didn't do anything. She was mouthy with him, but he kind of deserved what he was getting from her, and he was taking her life, her whole everything that she had. He wasn't letting her have it.
I mean, exactly. Just think if somebody came to your house and all of a sudden they just start throwing everything in your house away. It's on a larger scale, but again, that's all Stephanie has. And this officer is trying to take away everything that she's accumulated. She does nothing but try to get her property back. She's thrown to the ground. Now she's just taken down by two officers, laying in an ant pile, and she's mad. And she has a right to be.
Yeah, I felt really bad for her because, that life's tough for her. And
you gotta stop moving.
The least he could have did was give her.
Okay.
When you do the FR number?
Yes.
Yeah.
What were they doing in this scene again?
Yeah,
he's
the
trying to figure out what to charge her with.
For our statutes. Oh, I see what you're saying now.
That's why I was limiting my search.
Yeah, that's only our statutes.
Okay.
So
now he's trying to make up a charge.
Property not structure conveyance 810-09-2A.
What does it say?
trespass in property, not a structure or conveyance.
Yes.
Well, he was so confident that she was obstructing something when she came into contact with him, and it's like, why are they having a hard time figuring it out now?
Well, that's why he was so adamant trying not to arrest her, because he knew he threw her to the ground. He didn't have a reasonable reason to do that. He doesn't even know what he's going to arrest her for. So now he's talking to presumably another officer, because the sergeant never shows up. He never calls the supervisor. And so he's literally now trying to figure out why he's arrested her. That's what he's trying to do.
Wow. So now tell us what happened after these videos got out there.
Well, he releases her from the scene that day, and she ends up getting her property. He never verifies it's hers. He never cares about officer safety. He lets her go get the stuff and leaves. So a year later, I'll take it back. She tried to file a report like 2 days later and complain on this officer. But when the supervisor showed up, it was Luke. And he literally says, well, if you want a supervisor, you need to call in another day. And so a year goes by, and she finally files a complaint on him. And within a day of her filing a complaint, Luke turns his resignation in. And 7 days later, it's sustained, excessive force, abuse of power, everything that we saw in this video. So Stephanie, she was correct. When she said, you're going to regret this, she was right. And I think in the meantime, what had happened to Officer Luke is TBL Nation, we were already doing our public records request based on the Rhonda Elkins case. Mm-hmm. And so they knew that there was another video coming out. And so when this one showed up, they saw Luke and they immediately said, you better resign, dude, because we're going to terminate you. So he was given the ability to resign so that he can go find another job somewhere else. And so he's no longer with Melbourne. I continue to do my public records request to find out if another agency has pulled his employment file, which so far they have not, because this guy should not be a cop anywhere. And I'm hoping, and why they haven't went after him and tried to pursue charges, because that's what needs to be done. They need to go after the Rhonda Elkins case and pursue charges on him for that. And they need to absolutely file charges on him for this, because this is a straight up battery. She was thrown to the ground unlawfully. And they said that in the IA, the Internal Affairs. But they did send a letter to FDLE, and I'm hoping that they're actually trying to go after his certification. But again, this was all created because of Chief Gillespie not holding this officer accountable. 714 pages in his discipline file. And a lot of that is the investigation work. But 21 complaints were filed against him, 13 sustained in 5 years. Wow. In his first year, he had the audacity. Something told him that it was okay to sign his lieutenant's signature to an arrest affidavit, to forge his lieutenant's signature on an official police document. Wow. He committed a crime. The IA even says, you have potential criminal allegations here. And they sustain it, and he continues to hold his job. 13 times they sustained complaints against Officer Luke, and 12 times he remained a police officer. That is negligent retention. That's negligent retention. And I hope there's 13 times that Melbourne gets sued, and I hope they pay every single time. When I talk about failed leadership and failed accountability, this is what I'm talking about. When you have a police chief and a command staff that allows an officer to brutally attack your citizens 13 times in 5 years and you do nothing. And just because the other 8 weren't sustained doesn't mean they didn't happen. Ms. Binford, I was in law enforcement for 25 years. I have one complaint against me. One.
Wow. Yeah.
And that just tells you the difference.
Yeah,
when you
that's
have an
how
officer,
it should be,
When you have an officer that has 21 complaints in 5 years, that's a problem. And he should never have been a cop, and he should never be a cop again.
Yeah, that's definitely a liability.
Mm-hmm.
It's and the sad thing is these are people that are homeless too. So how do they defend themselves? They can't.
They can't. 2 days after she filed this complaint, Melbourne rearrested her again for another unlawful arrest in a park. I don't know if it's a coincidence. I don't want to make judgment, but how ironic is it that she's arrested 2 days after filing this complaint? I don't know if it's one of Officer Luke's buddies and they're like, now you're going to pay the price, but she's arrested again.
Wow. Well, thanks for breaking those down for us tonight. I mean, those I had a really hard time watching them, especially when she was on the ground. I almost came to tears because it was like, yeah, she was upset and she was mouthing off, but what do you expect when you approach a person like that and a person's living a hard life? You're taking their stuff, the only thing that they have. They're going to be, cursing you out, but he from the beginning approached her not to de-escalate her or to be a person with her. He approached her aggressively from the start.
Yes, ma'am. And I apologize if I got a little emotional because this one's hard for me to watch. And and I worked a long time alongside Chief Gillespie. He was in Melbourne. I'm in Palm Bay. I'm the deputy chief. He's the chief. He's from Baltimore. I have my wife's family's from Baltimore. So we had a lot in common. And I reached out to him. I called his office and I said, hey, can we talk? Because I wanted to find out what the mentality was. What's his theories on leaving officers in place like this? And I wanted to have a real conversation with him because I didn't want to go out and blast him if something was holding back, if the union was the one that were causing his issues. Mm-hmm. I wanted to understand the answers because that's why I started Thin Blue Lie Audits, because voices like Stephanie, that nobody listens to them. They wouldn't listen to me as a deputy chief. So I tried to talk to Chief Gillespie, but I say this again and again. When things like this happen, the elected officials, city managers, fire your police chief. If they fired Chief Gillespie tomorrow, then you know what? That would send shockwaves. And if a week later they hire another chief and this happens a week later and then they fire that chief, I guarantee you this, Ms. Binford, officers would stop brutalizing their citizens because the chiefs would not allow it. If the chief was getting fired every time a video like this came out, chiefs would stop this kind of nonsense. They would hold their officers accountable. If Chief Gillespie knew on the first complaint that he would get fired if Officer Luke had done that again, he would have fired Officer Luke. We got to start holding our top leaders accountable. I was a deputy chief. I've said this over and over. I was a part of a failed system and failed accountability. I watched how our command staff would cover up situations just like this. And that's the problem. And so when I speak, I'm talking from experience. 25 years in law enforcement and 2 years as a deputy chief. I was in command staff, I think it was 6-8 years. And so I understand both sides of the table now. I understand the cover-ups. And now I know, I've talked to enough victims of police misconduct that I know what happens to people like Stephanie Williams after the fact. PTSD. They're afraid of they're afraid of cops. They're afraid of getting arrested again. Mm-hmm. They can't sleep. There's financial ruin, hardships for them. So I understand both sides. So when I speak, I talk from two different angles. And so when I wanted to sit down with Chief Gillespie, that's what I wanted to try to talk to him about. Why? Why did you allow Officer Luke to go rogue and terrorize your citizens? That's all I wanted to know. But he wouldn't meet with me.
Yeah, and who for the viewers that don't know, who has the power to fire the chief?
In Melbourne, it's the city manager. If you have a strong mayor, it's usually the mayor. But in like Palm Bay and in Melbourne, it's the city manager. And so the people, there's a layer of protection for the city manager. So the people can't, even if they fire their elected officials, the city manager stays in place. And that's why Chief Agello stayed at Palm Bay. I showed how many videos of Officer Sean Rollins. They all sat there and defended Rollins. The city manager defended Rollins. All the elected officials defended Rollins. And I showed 6-7 videos, some of them worse than this one. And they talked about how he was a hero and an exceptional employee. But finally, after I started filing my complaints, they had to tell him, it's time to go, brother.
Yeah, so the city manager is the leadership over the chief, which is leadership over the police department. So if your chief is not a good leader and the city manager isn't doing anything about it, then the city manager is not a good leader as well.
No, absolutely not. And if the city manager and if you have a city manager that sees videos like this, they should have a heart-to-heart with their chief and say, if you can't manage your people, it's time for you to go. Because Officer Luke isn't the only one. There was 2 other officers I highlighted in previous videos, Officer Gould and Proctor. Between the 2 of them, they had over 900 pages in their discipline file. So 3 officers, 1,600 pages. So my fear is this is consistent throughout the agency. This is their culture. This is what I talk about. When you have 3 officers with hundreds of pages of discipline, that's a culture.
Wow. So that's a normal thing for that agency then.
Yeah, and they just got beat up because it was this agency that were trying to find a missing juvenile, ends up taking another juvenile to the ground and breaking his arm. And
I
one of those
remember that
officers,
video.
and
That was
when I
the juvenile that wasn't even the suspect, right?
he was helping them look for the guy. He was helping them. He literally talked to the officers, and 5 minutes later, they're tackling him to the ground and they're breaking his arm. And one of those officers already resigned. As soon as I put that video out, that one of the officers resigned, and I'm hoping 3 of them get arrested. Because they said they had intent. When I talk about battery, you have to have intent. And then one of the officers says, "I'm going to break your arm," and he does. They should all be charged.
Yeah. So have you followed that story? Is his mom suing the police department?
Oh, she got a lawyer, I think, within the next week. So there'll definitely be a lawsuit. And if they're smart, they will figure out how many zeros and they'll settle. Because I mean, that video alone on my channel got over 770,000 views.
Yeah, I remember seeing that video.
The people were irate. It was covered on all the news channels. It's been covered by even some of the bigger social media people. The YouTubers have covered it. It did not give Melbourne a good look. And I'll tell you what happened. That's what made me realize I need to do a deep dive into Melbourne. And then now I have Melbourne police officers emailing me information. And so I tell you, I don't go looking for these videos. They find me. And that's how this one came up. A Melbourne officer said, "You need to look at this officer in these videos." And that's how I found him.
They should really take that seriously too, because, with a lot of people moving to Florida and they start hearing stories about certain counties, they're going to be like, we don't want to move to Melbourne. Our kids could get arrested, or, the cops are not, following policies, or, we don't feel comfortable with law enforcement. And it's not even the whole agency. It's just those few people that are screwing it up for the agency. And, people might not want to move there thinking about buying a house and settling down.
Well, I think if I'm a parent, I'm a little concerned if I call the police department to even look for my kid. Because they're trying to find this kid with tasers drawn. They're chasing him around with tasers drawn. They had already made a decision. These officers had already made a decision that they were going to hurt this child. When they found him, they were going to hurt him. And unfortunately, they found another child and they hurt him anyway. And so if you're a parent in Melbourne, I don't know why their city council meetings are not packed and they're not demanding for a new chief, demanding for some sort of accountability, because that's where it starts. As citizens, you have to hold your police departments accountable. Mm-hmm. One, I say this, you must file formal complaints, which Stephanie did. It took 21 complaints to get Officer Luke to resign. And I'm going to say fired, because I guarantee they said, if you don't resign, you're going to be fired. 21 complaints.
Too many.
If 21 other people before Stephanie hadn't filed formal complaints, Officer Luke would still be working today.
Why is that? Why is it partially bad leadership and union, processes that get in the way? Because it seems like, gosh, that's just a lot.
Well, I think it's definitely on command staff. The unions, though, I'll be honest, when they see clear police misconduct like this, they don't want that officer working there either, because they know their job is to protect their membership, not one officer. That's their job, is to protect the membership. And so when you have an officer like Luke that's just literally putting all their officers in jeopardy, they may try to defend him a couple times, but when you see something so egregious as this, the union doesn't want anything to do with it either.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this was really a great rundown on these videos. And I'm glad I did this with you, because it was so hard watching them. My goodness, it really was. And I wonder how the viewers thought about those videos as well. Guys, comment. I thank you, Harrison. And who else did we have up here joining us today? B. Harrison. A lot of B. Harrison.
Yeah, he's one of my top supporters, and I do appreciate it if I just take a second So Thin Blue Lie Audits, I think we're going to hit 100,000 followers tomorrow on Facebook.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we're pushing at 20,000 on YouTube, and it's really been a success. And it's because of of followers like Harris, and it's the message. And when I talk about being a voice, remember I did this for 2 years as a deputy chief, and I had no voice. But now they have to listen. They have to listen to TBL Nation because we make a difference now. When I have 20,000 followers just from Palm Bay alone in Melbourne, that's the local population that is getting ticked off. They're tired of seeing this kind of chaos amongst their police departments. And they want to support their law enforcement. They really do. But when you see crap like this, it's tough. And when you see a chief of police not holding people accountable, it's brutal.
And we have a lot of supporters for our officers here in Indian River County and our police officers. I mean, they just show up with food all the time to make sure the officers have enough to eat, are well fed and hydrated. They bring like Gatorade. So we have a lot of supporters in our communities out there. And your videos really are making a difference. Look, you got another bad cop off the street.
I think I'm up to 4.
You should be so proud.
I'm not proud because I would rather I said this in Palm Bay. I would rather the chiefs hold their people accountable. I would be embarrassed if you have to rely on a retired deputy chief that you locked out of the building, that you locked me out of the building, and now you're having to rely on me to hold your people accountable. I'm not proud of it, but I do believe we're making a difference. I believe that with the backing of the 120,000 followers that I have in a short few months. So I don't know where this is going to go. Remember, I want to be retired. But every time I see a video like this, where I see Officer Luke or Officer Rollins out there terrorizing citizens, I can't retire. I just can't, because I talk to these victims. Everybody in these videos, except Miss Williams, I haven't had a chance to talk to her. I have conversations with them. And so I'm not proud of it, but I'm glad. There are 4 officers that don't need to have badges. And I just file complaints until they have to do something. They have to make some decision.
Yeah, what I like about your show is that it's not, there's some other YouTubers out there that are just totally dogging the police department. But what you're doing is you're educating us on those that need to either be retrained, that can be retrained, or those that just need to be exited out of the system. And it's making people aware of what's going on and letting them have a voice, because some people like Stephanie don't have a voice, and through this video, she had a voice.
Well, I had a conversation with a Palm Bay sergeant probably a month ago, and he said, man, officers just don't want to be on your videos. And I said, then change their behavior. So I'm going to tell you, if they're on a call and they start to lose control like Officer Luke, I hope in their mind they're saying, man, I hope Lance doesn't get this video. And if that changes that behavior just for a split second, that's all I'm asking. Because, I just put a video up today, and you know where that came from? An officer within the Palm Bay Police Department who said, this is an unlawful arrest, and they were tired of seeing it. And so they literally sent me the call for service, and they said, hey, can you do a video on this? And I said, sure, because they don't have a voice. So even officers are tired of looking at this kind of nonsense. They're tired of watching the people that they swore to protect get brutalized by their fellow officers. And so now I have probably 12 different officers between Melbourne and Palm Bay that email me, and I keep them anonymous, but they're just tired of dealing with it too. They're tired of going to calls with these guys. I talked about it earlier. 3 officers this week just lost their qualified immunity in a case. The city of Palm Bay filed a motion to dismiss, and the judge denied it. They lost their qualified immunity.
Wow, that's big.
They held up the unlawful arrest, the excessive use of force. These officers are going to get sued. And the only thing they better hope is that Palm Bay doesn't wiggle out of it and leave them standing there by themselves. But officers will lose their qualified immunity. And it just happened this week. And I'll try to do a breakdown of that. And it's deserved. And again, as a command staff member, I sat there while we covered it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Lance. We went a little bit over an hour, but it was a great show. No, it's great. It's all good. We love you, and keep doing what you're doing, helping our streets to get safer, and we'll have you back on.
Thank you. Well, hopefully we'll run out of body camera footage to show. I don't know. Hopefully.
All right. Well, have a good evening.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, guys, that was a great show. I always love having Lance on. He's doing a lot of good work. And that's a lot of work. You know, you have to realize Lance has to pull all of these private record requests and he's got to visit the stations. There's a lot of work involved in this. So if you can support him, go to his YouTube site and support him as much as you can. He's doing a lot of good work. Now, listen, guys, we're also going to have, you know, I mentioned unions. I want to learn more about unions and what they do. So I'm going to have Steve Meyer on next Thursday to talk about the Teamsters Union for the police department and what they're doing and how the laws have changed unions and their memberships. That's really important. I'm a conservative and I believe unions really balance things out. We need those unions because if you didn't have unions, the employers would just take advantage of its people. So have a good night. Join us every Thursday at 7 p.m. on Binford Chronicles. And remember, I host on the Board Report every Friday at 7 p.m. And tomorrow night, we're going to have Jackie Rosario, who won her election in the primary. And there's a lot of things going on with the school district here locally. We've got Dr. Moore, who announced that he's retiring. So, as of June, at the end of the school year, he will need a replacement. So, let's find out. Let's keep our eyes open to find out who the next replacement will be. Have a great evening.